Hey everyone, it's Keeley here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video where I am doing a remake of Sandalwood and Clove. This is one of those rare soaps that I always keep within my range. Most of the time I'm playing with fragrances, playing with colour and design and everything else, but occasionally I get those soaps where I know the minute they sell out I get heaps of requests to bring them back, and this Sandalwood and Clove is one of them. But this time round when I make it, I'm going to make a little bit of a change. In the past, I've always done like a little decorative swirls with piping bag after I finish it, and that should actually classify it as one of my decorative soaps. However, I can't put it into a decorative soap box because the ingredients are all pre-printed on those boxes and don't include sandalwood powder. So I have to put it into my little extras, which do cost less than my decorative soap. So I'm not getting that time for doing that piping. So this time round, I have decided that I'm actually just going to leave the top of this soap plain. And it's really that sandalwood in this soap that people are after, and not the decorative top that goes on it. So I figured we'll just do it plain, let that sandalwood really speak, and that's what we're going to go and do today. Come with me as I make my Sandalwood and Clove soap. Let's go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do with my oils is I've got some sandalwood powder. I'm going to add that in there, and I do like to sieve my sandalwood powder because we do get a few little clumps, and I don't want those clumps in the soap. So I'm just going to sieve that through, push it through with my little spoon as well, and then I'm going to mix it in with the stick blender, and then we'll add in our lye solution and bring it up to a emulsion. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how that is holding together. Just going to get a majority of this off the stick blender so we don't dribble soap everywhere, she says as she sticks it back into the soap. All right, so I've got that all cleaned off. Let's grab our colours. So I have three little pots here. I have one that has got Sahara, which is a My Micro Obsession colour. I have got some titanium dioxide, which has already been dispersed in some water. And in this one, I have a mix of rosewood, which is a My Micro Obsession colour, and a little bit of Trial by Fire, just to make it really pop. Might just pour a little bit more into each of these. This was a design that I did for the wholesale soap. I just really fell in love with the whole color blend. And then I also got, in fact, I only used three colors. So I had a white, the brown, and this gold color. And then I got a build a soap request that added 4 colors into this one. So I went with that red and just absolutely loved the color combination. So that's what we're doing now. In here, I am putting a little bit of, well, I say little, a fair amount of Grandeur mica. I'm going to give these a bit of a mix, and then we'll pop the scent in, which is Sandalwood and Clove. I will pop them into all except for the white because we've already got a sort of tan color going with it. I don't want it to get any more brown as it cures. Let's mix our white first. So I've got my mess all cleaned up. I have grabbed myself a mold, and I am going to attempt to get one of my curly whirly swirls in here. So I start with about half of my main color, then I'm just going to drop these other ones in here, and then when I drop or pour my main color back in across the top, it's the motion of pouring it that gets all those swirls going. Love this red color. It's so bright and vibrant and really pops in the soap. Let's grab our white. Well, it's more of a light latte sort of color than a white because of that sandalwood powder. I think we've got just a little bit too much colour saved for the top. So let's get those in like that. Those ones are still looking, sometimes I just save way too much for the top of my soap and then it just looks messy. So I'm gonna give them a bit of a scrape, get that into the middle of the soap like so. Let's go back to our main bucket and I pour it up fairly high and kind of move it quite quickly as well, which pulls those colors down and swirls them. Gonna get my bucket all scraped out. We'll scrape out our other little pots here as well, and then we will decorate the top. All right, so everything is in there, all pots are scraped out, and I'm just gonna keep this very, very simple and just swirl those colors over the top and leave this as a flat top soap this time. I do try to keep the little extra soap bars that little bit more simple because I want the ingredients to be the star of this soap. And this soap here has been so popular in the range, and I just want that sandalwood to really speak out. So there it is. I'm going to leave this one set overnight and we'll be back shortly and we'll cut it open and see what swirls we got. All right, it is the next day and we are ready to cut into our Sandalwood and Clove, and this one just smells so good. It's actually one of my favorite fragrances in the range. Sometimes sandalwood for me can get a little bit heady, but I find just having that clove mixed through it is really, really nice and gentle and quite calming. So let's get Ida to go through. Oh, it's firmed up a bit more than usual. So clunk she goes, and I've just lost my end piece. Oops. All right, I've retrieved that and that end piece will become mine to take home, I suppose. But that is the inside. Oh, look at those curly whirly swirls we've got going on in there. Absolutely love it. And I love how that red really, really pops. So that was that rosewood by my Micro Obsession with a little bit of Trial by Fire just to really make it pop. But so happy with how this one has turned out. And that sandalwood powder, as I've said, it really helps to hold that fragrance oil in this one. Just gives it that little bit of added extra. There's no way I could afford to put real sandalwood essential oil into the soap, but that powder really does add to it. And then it also has a really fine exfoliation too. But there it is. That is my Sandalwood and Clove soap. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. Oh, it's all stuck as I made this soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one and I will see you then. Bye.